the people who for the people who aren't able to be here today and they want to watch it later. So we'll try that experiment and see if it works for you. Here's Miss Sharita. She was in class on Friday, and so she'll be able to share her experience. Good morning, Miss Sharita. Continue. I had to make me a spot. It won't let me spotlight myself unless there's more than one person in the class. So Sharita, I was telling Ken about, we tried something on Friday and that was me turning around. And I said, well, we're going to try it today because it seemed to be helpful for people. What did you think about that?
I liked it. I liked it like that.
Okay. Well, y'all, look what I have, a speaker. I don't have to worry about Bluetooth or anything. I can just plug it into my computer, but I needed somebody to talk so that I could see which way was the loudest. How are you, Miss Sharita?
I'm doing great this morning, Miss Jennifer. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, speaker working good?
Yep, I think so. I figured it would be louder than what it is, and I don't know if maybe I don't have
it.
It
sound like normal. You sound like normal. I don't know if you can hear better.
Oh, girl, when I tell you I hate fighting that vibrating sound of my laptop, and then I was fighting the Bluetooth not connecting, and it was so distracting. So now I feel like I can teach class and I can hear if y'all have something to say. I'm not straining to think I know what you're saying. So, this is great. I mean, it's so clear and it's coming right from in front of me. This is fabulous. I don't know why I would need this, but this also has I can put lights on, like it changes from green to blue to orange. Why would I need that? I don't know. So I'm going to turn it off.
Just something
but,
else.
They may somebody needed that, or else they wouldn't have put it in there, right? I think that's true. I didn't turn you off, did I?
I don't think so. I can still see you and hear you. Okay,
good. All right, well, let's get started. Let's warm ourselves up. My hands are so cold. It is cold outside, y'all. I'm just over it. I'm ready to be hot. I'm ready to sweat. I'm ready to not have to wear a coat. All of those things. And my hands, they just get so cold, and it's like they don't work when they're cold. All right. Are you having troubles with your speaker, Mr. Ken? Can you hear? I haven't heard from him, so I'm thinking he may have a problem with hearing. I see he has on his headphones, but for some reason I'm not working for him. So, we just love technology, don't we, darling? We try to make it our friend. We try really hard. And a lot of times it is, but it can be so frustrating when you just want to plug it in and it work. All right. So let's get ourselves in our stable stance. Our feet shoulder width apart. Nice, relaxed shoulders. Good posture. I'm going to start off turned around facing you, because when we do our warm-ups, right and left don't matter. And I don't mind turning around after we've had several weeks experience in the other, but I will make an effort to turn around and show you from the front, just because I think sometimes we, well, not sometimes, but if my back is to you, you don't know what's happening with my hands. And if you don't know it really well, then I'm going to have to turn around and show you. So there will still be some turning around, but we'll do our practicing, turn around backwards, and we'll just see how that works. And y'all just be open with me and honest and give me feedback and what works and what doesn't work. And I'm flexible, and that may change from class to class. This class may like one way and another may like the other. So I can be flexible to that. So let's start with our warm-ups, our warm-up stretches, beginning with our neck. We bring our hands up towards our chin and chest, push away from our body, and follow our hands all the way down. Don't forget to breathe as you go through these movements. Trying not to be in a rush, staying in that slow, smooth, continuous nature of our Tai Chi movements. These warm-ups are just intended to get our bodies able to move, help them be more mobile. Our other neck exercise, we follow that hand, look over the shoulder, come back to center, switch. Side to side. Y'all notice my shirt today, it says Tigers, Andrew College, and that means my son's team is playing today. They're playing Chattahoochee Valley Community College, and that's somewhere in Alabama. Phoenix City, I think it is. I'm learning a little bit about Alabama, what's it called? Geography. That's nothing I ever had to know. So now, as my son plays in Alabama, I'm learning about that state and where things are. Just rolling my shoulders. The further we get into this class, the less we'll talk about our warm-ups and the more we'll do those. But feel free if you ever need clarification or have any questions, just to ask. I feel so good. I don't want to stop without rolling back. Big shoulder circles. Good to see you today, Gwen. I didn't speak to you when you first came in.
No problem. I was late. I was just fitting in.
That's okay. I was wondering if anybody was going to come there for a minute, and I was thinking, it is Tuesday, right? Because, you know, we didn't have work yesterday. So it always feels like Monday, the first day you come back to work. But I have my calendar right here, so I had a clue that it really was Tuesday. And the fact that, you know, the class automatically starts in Zoom because I have it scheduled for the rest of however long. All right, let's get our balls, stretch our spine. This is class 7. So we're getting close to that halfway mark. I think it's great that we're in a place where we have learned our basic 6. Like I said, all classes are different. I've had classes before that just want to sit down. You know, they never stand up. It's funny how that always works. It's like the same, the group of people that need seated Tai Chi somehow end up in the same class.
That's great.
And I've had classes in person that only did the warm-ups for, back then it was 12 weeks, but they never even learned a movement. I think I taught them the parts of waving hands in clouds and, taught them the breathing with open and close, but they never actually learned the series of movements. Do our ball side to side. If y'all can tell, my back is really sore and needs a lot of stretching, because I was really stuck on those spinal stretches right there. The shoulder and the spinal, the one that they're stretching and kind of massaging that back muscle. I'm hard on my body in the name of taking care of it. It seems kind of backwards, doesn't it, y'all? But I'm hoping that by doing the exercise, it helps my body in the long run. And I think about the strength of my bones, how weightlifting can help strengthen your bones. So, and I know that's part of aging too, is our bones get more brittle. All right, now to our hips, shifting weight. Heel, pause, and toe. Just check your shoulders, make sure you hadn't lifted them and caused any tension there. Check your posture and make sure you're not leaning forward or back, even to the side as you shift the weight. Because this is challenging for us as we hold our weight on one leg. To the other side. And remember, we do typically do about 3. But if you aren't able to do 3 in a row, or if you're not able to do the arm movements with the leg movement, you can sure make modifications. 1, skip the hand movements and hold a chair. Or 2, do 1 on one leg, come back to center, switch, and do 1 on the other leg. So go back and forth. So that's a modification. Now we're shifting weight, staying within our frame, keeping our body upright. I remember a couple weeks ago when I was kind of losing my voice and a cold was trying to get on me.
Yeah.
I still have not completely recovered from that. I still feel like it's in my throat and I have to clear it. That's a mean little cold that was going around. And one thing that helps is like that Mucinex. But I don't like the way it makes me feel otherwise. I don't like to take medicine, y'all, if I can help it. Oh, I don't like the side effects of it. And that's just over the counter. Oh, like drugs, man. Drugs are bad.
Yeah.
For our knees. Lift, tap, and punch. Shift, lift, tap, and punch. Again, you're in control of how high you tap that foot out. Have y'all had any experience watching television or movies and seeing Tai Chi in them lately? Or since you started class? I was watching Gilmore Girls this past weekend, and one of the scenes they were doing Tai Chi. And I can't even remember now what was the storyline, but it was so fun to watch. It didn't look like any of the moves that we do, but it was Tai Chi nonetheless. All right, now let's step forward. Remember playing around with that foot placement, keeping both feet on the floor. Soft bend in our knee. You don't have to keep a bend in your back leg. I know I mentioned that the other week, But that was because somebody's leg was locking and not wanting to unlock. So if that was the issue, if that's an issue with straightening a leg as you shift weight forward, then make a modification of having your feet a little closer so you can keep a little soft bend in that back leg too. We make it work for us. We don't work for it. that could be applied anywhere, huh?
Yeah.
I love this movement, how we shift to the side, step, shift front, shift back. There's that flow to it that just feels really nice, and you're engaging so many muscles in your legs that support your body. I know I say a lot of them are my favorites, but I think this one just really prepares us for all the weight shifting in our Tai Chi. Next is our ankles. I love this new speaker. It makes me so happy. I love that I don't have to fight Bluetooth or the vibrating speaker on the bottom of my laptop. It just came in this morning and it was perfect timing. Shift and big toe, little toe. So we went through, I know I talked a lot, but I didn't really talk much about the actual movements. But you know, as we learn and go through our movements, we spend less time talking about them and more time practicing. And so that's the natural progression of learning in class. All right, so we're gonna do our basic 6 first. I'm going to do it forward and talk about some of the moves specifically, then I'll turn around. Remember, whenever we do one, in our basic 6, we single whip and wave hands and clouds to the right, and then we single whip and wave hands and clouds to the left. I know we've talked about mirror image and the confusion of that, and so that's why turning around and actually going to the right may be easier for you to follow. I just want to make sure that initially you're clear on what is going on with our hands. And in commencement, our hands start out at our sides. They face each other the whole time. As we go up, remember, soft bend. We're not Frankenstein out. We have a soft bend. They come down. It's like drawing a U, but I usually call it in and up, and then out, and then back. So that's the handwork of commencement. Then we have open and close. Our hands open and close. Single whip, where we push those hands away from us, turn our palms away, and separate. Our eyes follow. First, we follow our left hand, but the rule is we follow the hand opposite of the foot that stepped out. So when we do it to the right, we follow the left hand, and when we do it to the left, we follow the right hand. And then waving hands and clouds. One hand comes to our hip, the other comes cross body, palm out, and we turn our torso, switch our hands. Remember, we stay in our frame. We don't go way over here, just like when we did the spinal warm up with the ball. We stay in our frame, switch, stay within our frame. So it's switch, turn, switch, turn. So that's the upper body movement, and then the lower body will be obvious. Our hands will be away from the camera, so you won't be able to see when I turn around. So let's do it facing the camera first. And commence. Hands come up and down, shift right, step left, hands come in and up. Shift left as the hands go out, right foot forward, hands come back, open and close. Single whip, shift left, step right, adjust weight. Push, turn, separate, eyes following that left hand. Shift left, bring that right foot, right hand back, waving hands in clouds. Step and switch, turn, shift. 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 Step and switch, turn to the middle for open and close. Single whip, shift right, step left, let me back up, sorry. Shift right, step left, adjust weight. Push, turn, separate, eyes following that right hand. Shift right, left foot, left hand back, waving hands in clouds. Step and switch, turn, shift. 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 Step and switch, turn, and to the middle for open and close. Our basic 6. Now I know there's lots of things that we can focus on once we learn our movements within our principles of movement control, thinking about going slow, smooth, continuous. The other is gentle resistance. That's the one I totally get involved in and just kind of explore just the push and the pull of movements, especially in our advanced 6, but also our body structure, being upright, thinking about weight transfer, that empty step before we give weight to the foot. Just now when I did basic 6, I was thinking about open joints, song joints, the internal part of Tai Chi, and really thinking about space in my armpit as I hold my hands away from my body. That was kind of what I was focusing on then. And then the Jing, or the mental quietness, something that's not as easy in class. So wherever you want to go with your focus, you'll just get that practice with it, switch and do a different one the next time. So let me turn around and we're going to do it again. Remember, with our basic 6, we go to the right and then we go to the left. And I'll talk you through it, even though you can't see the front of me. And commence. Hands come up, down, shift right. Step left, hands come in and up. Shift left as they go out, right foot forward, hands come back, open and close. Single whip, shift left, step right, adjust weight. Push, turn, separate, eyes follow that left hand. Shift left, bring that right foot, right hand back, waving hands in clouds. Step and switch, turn, shift. 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 Step and switch, turn, come to the middle, open and close. Single whip, shift right, step left, adjust weight. Push, turn, separate, eyes following that right hand. Shift right, bring that left foot, left hand back, waving hands in clouds. Step and switch, turn, shift, 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 step and switch, turn to the middle for open and close. Close it out. So maybe that was easier. Maybe you liked me turning around. I'm going to do it again. This time I'm just going to call out the names of the movement. I'm going to do the movement, but I'm just going to call out the names. All right, here we go. Getting that nice stable stance, good posture, no tension. Reminding ourselves we're going to breathe throughout those movements. Basic 6 and begin. Commence. Open and close. Single whip. Moving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Close. I like this better.
Yeah.
I know Miss Gwen does. I feel disconnected from y'all, but I feel like I'm kind of in my own little, world just practicing my Tai Chi because I can't see you. I wish I had a dual screen where I could still see y'all, but I was turned around. And there's probably a way to do that. I'm just not that tech smart. So let's do it this time with no talking. All right, here we go. And commence. Still try to do when I'm doing it with no talking is still think of the words in my head while I'm doing them. And so that may be helpful for you to just think, hands come up, You know, the same way I talk you through it. Hands down, shift right. Bring those hands in and up, or finish the U, step, shift as those hands go out. So to still say the words, the specifics of that movement, and that may be a next level of knowing and learning the movements. I do it so that I don't get too lost in my movement for teaching. To still give it that moment to shift, wait, step, adjust weight, push, turn, separate, to make sure each part of that movement gets the respect. All right, let's do it one more time. Let me check time. 10:32. Oh, we're so good. We're so good on time. Of course, in 30 minutes, I'm gonna go, gosh, that was fast. How did we work that time? All right, so we're gonna do it one more time. I'll call out the names of the movements, and then we'll move on to doing our advanced movements.
Jennifer,
Ma'am?
in 15 minutes, I gotta leave because I gotta get dressed for my class.
Okay, well, you have a wonderful week and day, and I'll see you Friday. If not, I'll see you Tuesday.
Friday night.
Okay, very good. All right, here we go. And no, we're gonna keep recording, so if you want to come back for the last 15 minutes, you can come back later and watch it.
Okay.
All right, here we go, and commence. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Close it out. Very good. So keep practicing that. Keep feeling just the depth of that movement, utilizing our principles and appreciating it, that as you learn it and know it, it gets so easy. When you can get in the groove of waving hands in clouds and not think steps or step and switch or step, switch, turn, shift, if you can get away from thinking about what you're doing and just doing it, then you really can just, I don't know, get comfortable in it and just experience that movement. And we want to get there with our advanced too, and that just takes more time. What I love about advanced movement is the weight shifting forward, weight shifting back, the opportunity to empty step, holding our weight on that other leg while things are happening with our upper body, shifting, that follow step, the empty step, and then step back, empty. So we get a lot of opportunity to hold our weight on one leg, and that starts strengthening our muscles. And so I just love advanced movements. It really feels like a dance. Remember that we go to the left first in our advanced movements and then to the right. So I'll do a forward facing first and I'll turn around. When it comes to our hand movement, we'll talk about that first. So we're coming from open and close. For brush knee, my right hand reaches out and my left hand comes and protects that elbow. So it's here, and then my left hand comes down to my hip, and my right hand comes around, however you're comfortable coming around, because not everybody has the mobility in their shoulder to move around a whole lot. If you don't have shoulder mobility, just think in your head that you do, but you come around with that right hand and you push. That's the end of brush knee. Then we have play the lute, where I'll say turn our hands. And so our hands are both facing inwards and they prepare to pass each other. And then when I get to that elbow, that's the end of that movement. Parry punch. I flip my hands. Shift and parry. That's what I'll say. But the hands pass. So just like in play the lute, our hands pass each other and stop at the elbow. When we get to parry punch, our hands pass each other and we stop at that elbow. And then our hands flip, our hands pass each other till we get to the elbow. So you see how I just skimmed over, I'm not really touching, or I'm not touching my hands. It doesn't have to be perfect and exactly hands passing directly over top of each other or under each other, because that again will depend on the mobility of your shoulders. So if you struggle in any way with your shoulders, think that your hands are over top of each other and be wherever you need to be to do that movement. And then gradually, hopefully your mobility will improve as you imagine it and as you practice. So the parry here, and then the hand that's extended comes up and becomes a guard. This hand comes back. Y'all know, I think of it as reaching in my back pocket and getting a bouquet of flowers. And then I'm going to deliver those flowers. So my wrists hover each other as I bring those flowers over top. So when I end that movement, my wrists are there together, but not touching. My fist is here, just like I were holding a bouquet of flowers. So think of it as delivering those flowers like I were holding them. It's called parry, and punch. And that seems like an odd way to punch. So parry, and deliver is a lot of times what I'll say, thinking about those flowers, which reminds you how to hold your hand. And then it's just less violent. So parry, and deliver or punch, and then block and close. We separate our hands and we bring them down to our hips, and then push the tiger. We push those hands away from us, but still keeping that soft bend. And then we go to the front where our hands face, open and close. So that's what's going on with our hands specifically. Of course, we have the footwork, and let's go through that. So talking you through it, coming from open and close. Weights on both legs. So we're going to shift left, right toe in and reach. Shift right, separate, prepare. Step right, hand comes around. Shift as I push. Follow step. Play the loop. Step back, turn hands. Shift as they pass, get to that elbow and follow step. Parry punch. Step and flip. Shift and parry. Step and flip. Shift and parry. Step and guard. Shift, deliver, follow step. Block and close. Step back, release hands, shift as they come down to my hips, follow step. Push the tiger. Step, shift as I push, follow step. To the front. Step, shift, step, adjust weight, hands face, open and close. Brush knee, shift right, left toe in and reach. Shift left, separate, prepare. Step, bring this arm around, shift as I push, follow step. Play the lute, step back, turn hands, shift as they pass, follow step. Parry punch, step and flip, shift and parry. Step and flip, shift and parry. Step and guard, shift, deliver, follow step. Block and close. Step back, separate hands, shift, bring them down to our hips, follow step. Push the tiger, step, shift and push, follow step to the front, step, shift, step, hands face, open and close. Any questions about those movements? All right, let's turn around. Remember, we go to the left first, and then we go to the right. I'm going to start over here closer to this wall so I can stay within camera. All right, we're at open and close, so our hands are facing. I'm going to talk you through it. Shift left, right toe in and reach. Shift right, separate, prepare. Step, bring this arm around. Shift as I push, follow step. Play the lute. Step back, turn hands. Shift as they pass. Get to that elbow, follow step. Parry punch. Step and flip. Shift and parry. Step and flip. Shift and parry. Step and guard. Shift, deliver, follow step. Block and close. Step back, release hands. Shift as they come to my hips. Follow step. Push the tiger. Step. Shift as I push. Follow step to the front. Step. Shift. Step. Hands face. Open and close. Here we go. To the right. Brush knee. Shift right. Left toe in and reach. Shift left. Separate, prepare. Step. Bring this hand around. Push and follow step. Play the lute. Step back, turn hands. Shift as they pass. Follow step. Parry punch. Step and flip. Shift and parry. Step and flip. Shift and parry. Step and guard. Shift, deliver. Follow step. Block and close. Step back. Shift. Follow step. Push the tiger. Step. Shift as I push. Follow step to the front. Step. Shift. Step. Adjust weight. Hands face. Open and close. And close it out. How is that? Is that easier to follow turned around?
I just love that way.
It thrills me to death that other people's brain works like my brain, because I do not like to be taught when you're facing me. My brain doesn't compute what you're doing. So maybe doing it this way will feel more successful, and that always does the heart good to feel successful. When we feel like we can't get it, we just want to go cry and be like, oh, never do it.
Yes.
And nobody likes to feel that way. Not when you're 5 or 45 or 75, like none of the ages. All right, it's 1:45, Gwen. I don't know if you noticed the clock. Love you. All right, so now let's put it all together. Basic 6, advanced 6, starting from the top. I'm just going to call out the names of the movements and then we'll see where that gets us. All right, here we go. And commence. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. I'm going to scooch over here a little bit just so I stay in camera view as I go to the left first in our advanced 6. Brush knee. Play the loop. Parry punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. The front. Open, close. Brush knee. Play the loop. Parry punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. Close it out. We're going places, y'all. So we've learned the movements. Have we mastered them? No, but we've learned them. And so as you practice these movements, I want you to think about the pace of the way you're moving. Slow, smooth, and continuous. Don't get in the trap that I found myself into. Still have that empty step, then shift the weight. So don't be so continuous in your movement that you're skipping the empty step. As I turned around a while ago, I think I was really in that moment of being smooth and continuous. So when I went, to do the advanced movements, I saw my hands get to the end and then immediately turn and go into the other movement and then go into this other movement, parry punch. And everything was just so much more smooth and continuous than when I'm making it choppy. And that's how we want to start being as we know the movements. It's just more, we get to the end of that. We give it the respect of the empty step, the follow step, the end of the movement, but then go into that next one and it's more smooth and continuous. Another exploration of our advanced movements is this soft and hard dynamic of the movement. where if you think, okay, so if it's a fight we're never going to have, right? So we are thinking of our Tai Chi as having the history of the martial art, even a military background, so there's that attack component, but we're not actually attacking someone. But if you think about our advanced movements as a fight, then you can really start going hard on the attack and then soften as you transfer, hard on the attack, hard on the attack, soft on the transfer, hard on the attack. So it's like our shirt. We have our yin yang, and that's kind of thinking about opposites and how in life and in our world, everything kind of has an opposite. So we have good and bad. We have bad in the good and good in the bad. In Tai Chi, we have soft and hard in our movement. And so it goes back to that yin yang concept. And so when I'm going to come towards you as I do our advanced movements in that attack, there's a softness there. And then attack is the harshness, soft, harshness. See the softness of the transition as the harshness of that attack kind of move, the softness in the setup, the harshness in that attack, the softness and the harshness. You see those two things going on in those movements. And whenever you think that soft and hard, then it feels differently. You almost go into our principle of gentle resistance of when we go into that push or that hard or harshness. That's that gentle resistance. Like you really are in that fight, but we're really not. We're really not fighting anyone. And so I would like for you to experience that with our advanced movements. But if you're not ready for that, that's fine. You don't have to be there. I give you a place to work towards, and one day you'll get there. But that's diving more into the movements past learning them. So you may be in different spots in your journey. So let's go through all of it again from the top. Basic 6 and advanced 6. Here we go. And commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Again, I'm going to scoot over here so we can go to the left with our advanced movement, starting with brush knee. Play the loop. Carry punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Open and close. Brush knee. Play the loop. Carry punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. And close it out. So hopefully you at least noticed, now that I've said it, that push and pull, that hard and soft nature of our movements, which lends itself to experience gentle resistance in our movement, and that's a different way of exploring it. So there you go. Let's cool down. Here we are at 10:57, giving ourselves a nice fist massage to our thighs. Oh yeah, these jeans got stretch in them today. I can bring that knee up high. I always say, depending on my pants, the amount of stretch in my pants depends on how high I can bring my knee. All right, now let's gather tension and release it. Gather tension, reminding ourselves that's not how we live. Unless we like pain. Tension causes pain. And whenever I do that move, when I gather tension, I kind of hold my breath for that second, and then when I let it go, I exhale. And so that may be something you want to try, is gathering, holding breath, and letting it go, because holding your breath is tension. So remind yourself throughout the day, whew, am I breathing? Check in and make sure that you are breathing. Big shoulder circle. It sounds silly because breathing is an autonomic. Is that the right word, Sharita? I think it's autonomic. It's an autonomic, huh?
Autonomic.
Oh, I won Jeopardy today. Autonomic, your body breathes. I mean, you can't sit there and just forever hold your breath because you'll pass out. But we still shouldn't hold our breath, even though we're not holding it long enough to get to that point. So just check in, make sure you're not holding your breath. It typically happens whenever you're busy doing stuff or doing something new or different. So know that and just address it when you can. And Ken, if you're wondering why I asked Sharita, she's so smart. She is a nurse. And so I knew she would know the right pronunciation. All right, so to end class, we always make our right fist loose, as always, representing our strength. Our left hand, our fingers together, representing our friendship, our thumb in, representing humility. So strength, friendship, and humility, we put those together, and in mutual respect, we say namaste. Oh, we did good today. I know when we start a new class, I always have this like stress of, am I doing it right? Am I teaching it right? Am I being clear enough? So after 7, classes, I'm like, oh yeah, we got this. So now it's getting in that groove and really exploring and getting better at it. So from here until week 16, man, I can just see us doing wonderful things. And I'm glad y'all are here for it, because it would be weird for me to just be doing it all by myself and talking to myself. So I love y'all.
Love you too, Jennifer.
All right, well, Miss Sharita, I'll see you Friday. Mr. Ken, I'll see you next Tuesday, but y'all let me know if I can do anything for you in between now and then, okay?
Sure thing.
All right, have a great week.
All right, yeah, you
All right.
too.
Bye.